1993 Subaru Loyale. I've had the engine out of it. I've put a rear locker in it, and so we're going to go make use of that rear locker today to try and find about 5 Watchtowers. But first, we need to fix a couple of things. This car is running out of fuel and oil, so we need to hit up an auto parts store and a gas station. Fun fact, this car has no cup holders. Once again, we've arrived at the Costco fuel station. And now on to the auto parts store. Alright, with a fuel tank full of gas and an engine full of oil, it's time to hit the road. We've got about 2 hours and 15 minutes until we hit the dirt, and that's including a ferry ride that we might have to wait for, so it might be longer. This is by far the longest expedition I've ever taken the Loyale on, though if you go way back in my video's history, there is a video where we drove this thing across the state and back, which was technically longer, but there was no off-roading or anything. And one great thing about this car is the AC works. Heck yeah. I'm going to be riding in luxury, except for my lack of a cup holder. I still can't get over how awesome this road is. It is just so unbelievably curvy and fun. If you ever have a minute in your sports car, then come out to Keller Ferry and just drive this road. It's a great hoot. We just missed it. That's unfortunate. We're going to be sitting here for probably about 15-20 minutes until we get on, and then on the way. I was gonna need 4-wheel drive to get up that ramp. I do just always love the ferries. It's just so nice. Kind of a forced break in the middle of your road trip. And it's just beautiful out here. I mean, look at this right now. We've only got about 12 more minutes until we turn off this highway here, so I guess we'll hammer that out and see when we get to the first Watchtower. It's just approaching noon right now. This is our last town before the Watchtower of Keller, and so we're gonna top off the fuel here, even though it's probably really expensive. They only have one pump. All right, we got a full tank of gas and we've switched mapping softwares. It's time to hit the dirt. Well, that's not a good sign. It says dead end roads, so I guess I'll check the mapping software and see what it looks like. I'm gonna decide to trust the sign over the map, and there are a couple of more roads that, according to the map, go through, so we're gonna keep driving a little bit and try those out. All right, we're approaching our second turnoff. This one is marked as like an ATV trail on my map, so I don't have high hopes, but hey, we'll give it a shot. And I believe that's a no trespassing sign. On to the next one. All right, coming up to number 3. This one is marked as a road, but the maps up here, like we saw back there, are pretty unreliable. And I do not have high hopes. So far, I haven't seen any dead end or no trespassing signs, so I think we might have found our winner. This is looking very promising. I think I made the right decision to pass on the first one. I don't know if you heard those clunks as I went around the corner, but that's kind of concerning. I'm being reminded exactly how little power this car has. This hill, I'm barely making it up in second, and I had to shift down to first multiple times. I have switched on 4-wheel drive for the extra traction while going up steep hills because these tires are not very good. Well, that wasn't much of a tree, but I do have the chainsaw if we need it. So this is kind of interesting. I don't know if you could read those signs, but this was a prescribed burn area. And actually when I was coming up here in the XC70 last year, I was going to go to this watchtower, but couldn't because it was on fire. And so it's kind of interesting to now see what that looks like. Dude, that was pretty gnarly. I know we would not have made it through that without four-wheel drive, and I think the locker might have saved our butts too. And also I could barely go as slow as I wanted to thanks to this car not having the low range gearbox. We're getting up there. My map continues to be wildly off, so I think on this trip we're gonna be relying more on vibes than the map. This is why this is such a great experience, such a great thing to go do, because no matter what watchtower you're going to, you're gonna have a great view when you get to the top.
Just a trip to the trees. The plants are waving, smiling. It's just a trip to the...
Wow, this isn't even close to our top elevation of this trip, and the view from here is just so incredible. Let's climb up to the top and get a better view.
to see. My trip to the trees.
That just scared the crap out of me. An engine started up over there. It must be a generator, maybe running off all this propane. It looks like they have solar, so they must have the generators for when that isn't quite enough. I do get great cell service up here, if you can believe it. These dishes say Comcast on them. They must be how they got internet up here for the cell tower. They must be beaming it from somewhere else. Yep, this is as far as we go. Wow. Kind of cool, you can pull up and park under this one. So yeah, we've got 3 propane tanks here and then another big one over by the watchtower. That wall must be up there to protect them from winds and stuff, I don't know. If I was up here with friends and had some safety gear, I might climb up the thing, but if I fall, I'm pretty much dead. So I think I will skip it on this occasion. Well, I haven't had anything to eat today, so I think it's time for a little bit of lunch. Man, the only way this could be better is if that generator kicked off over there. Kind of ruins the piece. We got here some Colby Jacks, some dry salami, and Gouda Triscuits, and this is a really good lunch, one of my favorites. Well, I decided that this would be just about as good a place as any to record my 15 minutes exercise. I've gotten a few minutes going up and down the watchtower, but over the course of the rest of the day, I'm sure I'll put in 15 minutes. It's not an issue out here. It's an issue when I'm at home, you're getting out and getting that exercise. Welcome to today's 15 minutes exercise, and let me show you around, and then I'll explain what I'm doing up here. All right, let's pack up and get back on the road to the next tower. I don't know how far away it is, but it's 2 o'clock, so maybe we hit one more today and see what happens, I don't know. Well, it's time to say goodbye to these picturesque views and say hello to the next ones. I just cannot get over the view up here. So this car does actually have one minor issue with the transmission. When you're going downhill or slowing down in first gear, if there's like a lot of pressure on it, it'll pop out. And I forget about it until I'm on one of these trips driving downhill in first gear. There, it just did it. God damn. I've had a look at the map, and the only way out really that makes any sense for us is the same way we came in. So we're just gonna be mobbing down this same road here. If where we camp tonight has half as good of a view as this, then I'll be happy. I'll be stoked. There's a bear, a black bear. I hope you were able to see that. This is the times where I wish I didn't record on an action camera. Thought it was like a burnt stump or something. Well, I'm not gonna go bother him, obviously, but wow, that was cool. And it is also a reminder to keep the bear spray handy, I guess. Speaking of black things, I'm seeing quite a bit of black smoke coming out of the back of this car. That's a little concerning. Well, if that doesn't clear up by the time we get down to pavement, I'm gonna be very concerned and this trip might get cut short. My guess right now is that we were parked on an angle, and so that's just some oil burning off. And I also haven't been driving the car very hard because we're going downhill. Either way, it's not good. All right, I'm gonna pull over here and check the oil just to be sure. We have been driving a while now. Okay, there's still lots of oil in here. So I guess all that out of the way, we are just gonna keep driving and hope that once we get back to the highway, the oil clears up, because I'm pretty sure it's just burning oil. As a refresher, if you're newer to the channel, I did pull the engine out of this to replace the rear main seal, but that's the only seal I replaced. So logically, if that seal's leaking, then probably others are, including internal ones. So that would make the most sense. All right, we have now gone up and down a few hills and I just missed my turn. But the black smoke seems to have cleared up. So I think it was just from parking on an angle up there. I might just try to avoid doing that in the future, I guess. I don't know who made these tires, but I cannot believe they've lasted as long as they have. I mean, they have an actual wave on them. That can't mean quality. All right, we are just about back to pavement finally. I think I might go hit up that gas station one more time and then we'll head off into the woods again. Only a couple gallons or so, but hey, that 50 miles might just save us. 4 Watchtowers on the list still, and they are not any closer together than this one was from here. So I don't know if we're gonna make it to all of them, but we're gonna head up to the next one, which looks like it's about as far away as this one was from here. Yeah, nothing to do but get on the road. Let's go. I do want to mention that there is something not quite right with the rear differential locker right now. The way that this one works is it allows the wheel to ratchet faster than the other, the outside wheel, when you're going around a corner. And sometimes it doesn't seem to be allowing that, so it just is locked together. If this were a rear-wheel drive vehicle, I would not be continuing, but because it's front-wheel drive, we will still have movement even if it explodes. But I really hope that that doesn't happen. Looks like we've got asphalt for at least a little ways further. I'll let you know when we turn off onto dirt. Well, it's happened. We've left pavement. We've got a little bit on this nicely maintained gravel road until we turn off onto some logging road. I think that the route I mapped is actually the main road, and the main road really is just this curvy. So we've got quite a ways further to go up on the main road before we turn off onto some cow path. Holy crap, those are some washboards. Man, this road is just about worse than the other one I was on. Sure, it's wider and smoother, but the washboards are brutal. I don't know about you, but this car just feels at home on these roads. This is what this was built for. I mean, probably not, but that's what it feels like. Well, this is our next little stint off-road to get up to the Watchtower. This is not very long. We've got a sign. It's just telling me that if I'm out here for archery season, I cannot be carrying a gun, except for a handgun for personal protection. I don't have a gun at all, so don't need to worry about it. Or a bow for that matter. It looks like thanks to that road being a lot better quality than I thought it would be, we do not have all that far on the rough roads until we make it. It'll help if I actually take the turn when I need to. And look at this. We've got a sign. We must be on the right path. Man, that road looks steep. It looks like both roads go to the Watchtower. I don't know which one we should take. I planned for the right one. It looks a lot steeper and a lot more direct. I think we're gonna try for the one that I planned on. Considering all the trees I'm seeing across the road, I think it might be the other road that's the main road into the Watchtower, so we're gonna go try that. Well, that is a problem. That's a big tree too. Well, I guess we gotta see what we can do about it. I think instead of trying to deal with this massive tree, even though I do have a chainsaw, the plan is to clear out the stuff on the other side, and I think we can squeeze under it just barely. There's a chipmunk that is very unhappy I'm here. Oh, that battery's dead. I have another one. Well, hey, that wasn't even close. Let's see if we caught any branches. Looks all clean under there. Good little car. We can see it off in the distance, and this one looks like a cool one. It's like perched right on top of a rock. That's crazy. I guess it means they had to build less structure. Let's get up there and check it out. I'm so excited. We are steep enough now that I'm just having to leave it in first and crawl on up. Holy crap, this is steep. I hope I can get going again. I had a feeling we'd be needing that on this trip, and that feeling was very correct. So one fun fact about this car is that it does have hill assist. I'm sitting here with the clutch in, my foot off the brake, and it's holding, but we're really gonna need that because I'm gonna have to dump the clutch to get this thing moving again. This is so unbelievably steep. That's pedal to the metal. As you can see, the Watchtower's right up there, but there's a tree in the road here, and I see one more right up the road, and we're just about there, so I'm gonna hoof it. I've got the wheels turned on the Subaru and a rock behind the rear wheel in case the handbrake fails, but we're gonna hope that doesn't happen. And I've just realized I should probably grab my bear spray. Here. I feel like hiking up to Watchtowers is a cheat code. You only have to do the pretty part of the hike. The views, they don't get old. Let's go see how the view is from the top of this thing. can actually see some concrete pillars over there where it looks like the tower used to be. So they really did at one point put it right on top of the rock here. I'll bet that that tower wasn't quite as tall as this one based on my limited experience.
Stand up for myself, and if they don't,
It looks like there was also one closer to the tower here. So this might be like the third tower, if not more, on this site.
for your health.
That's flexible, I don't like that. Man, it's getting windy up here. Darn, I really wanted to get on top of this one, but nope, it's completely locked. I guess I'll take one last look around and get down out of here. It's pretty windy. I don't know if you can hear the eerie noises, but it's definitely the one. Let's go check out those other sites before we head back down to the car. It's about 4:40, it's getting close to summer now, so we probably should look for a place to camp fairly soon, but we have about 4 hours till dark. That's a little bit of a drop. Like I said, I expected this was just basically a building up on the rocks up here because you really don't need much more elevation than this. It's fun watching all the birds play with all the wind currents up here. I'm sure there's lots of them. U.S. Coast and Geodetic Survey Reference Mark. That's pretty nifty. I never noticed one of those up here before. Man, if I get the car up here, I'd kind of consider camping here, but I cannot. So I guess it's onwards. One more thing before we leave. We better check out the facilities. Surprisingly fresh in there. All right, now we gotta go back down to the car and move on. Unfortunately, I didn't really have any other option but to park it on an angle, so we might end up with black smoke again. Say goodbye to the Watchtower. This one was definitely harder to get to, though it was not quite as long of a drive. Is this a runaway truck ramp if your truck starts running away right after you leave the Watchtower? Oh, man, this view is unbelievable. I keep saying that. It looks like once we get down off of this off-road part, it's a fairly major road, so I think I'm gonna try and head for the next one, and there's always woods around here, and it's pretty rural, not a lot of civilization, so we can probably just camp about anywhere. So I guess with that, let's start heading back down. Imagine driving up here in your side-by-side or dirt bike and then seeing tracks from street tires. Oh, stalled it. Have I mentioned that I really want the low range gearbox in this thing? Okay, I found the correlation to do with the smoke. It's just after you're coasting downhill a long time. Check this out. There wasn't any smoke when I first left the place because I immediately drove uphill from there. But now that I've been coasting downhill for quite a while, some oil has just pooled somewhere. All right, we are returning to that first turnoff that we took up here. I definitely think we made the right choice with taking that road. We got a short little drive back out to the main road, and then we'll be mobbing it, hopefully. I don't think that sign's relevant anymore. Fencing to keep out livestock, noxious weed control, native plant, more nutrition and cover for wildlife. Cool. Speaking of wildlife, I just saw some deer or elk out in the meadow to my left. They were too far away and I couldn't get out the camera in time, but kind of cool. Speak of the devils, and they try and jump in front of my car. Wouldn't be a deer sighting if without that. Well, I wasn't filming obviously because I was trying to keep my eyes on the road, but that guy over there, that elk, just went right in front of the car. Wait, so is it a bridge or a low water crossing? We'll call that water crossing a metaphor because it is starting to rain. We're gonna be getting wet here. Hopefully it passes by the time we go camping, but I've been watching these clouds all day and I don't think they're really going anywhere. I love the sound of rain in this thing. It's got such a thin metal roof. It's just so cozy. I'm sure I won't be saying the same thing when we get to camp though. We are getting dangerously close to this watchtower now. I don't think we've got more than 10 minutes. It's already gorgeous. We are literally spiraling up the mountain right now. I haven't even seen the watchtower yet. All right, let's see if we can get the drone up before it clouds in too much. Unfortunately, it does look like this one is fenced in, so we can't actually climb up it. That's super lame. It's giving me a strong wind warning. I'm ignoring it. Hopefully the shot's worth it. I say just as it's covering up with clouds. Somehow the drone's dealing with it. Damn, that's impressive. That's just impressive. And I can't really see over the trees even up here. This one has a generator like the other one for the cell tower. Let's head over to that rock. I think I might be able to see some stuff out of there. You don't even know how tempted I am to climb over this fence. I think I could do it without hurting myself, but I also don't know if they have cameras or anything. And well, there's a little bit of a view at least. Now that just makes it way too tempting. If I were by myself, I'd totally do it, but I'm gonna be putting this on YouTube. You know what? If I were to climb over that fence, which I'm not gonna do it, then it would be up on Patreon. I'm not gonna do it, but if I were going to, that's where you might find it. Wow. I can't believe how good that view that I didn't see was. I don't like to plug the Patreon or whatever, but I really don't want to post that on the internet publicly if I were to have done it, which I didn't. All right, we have about an hour and a half until dark. So we're gonna be looking for a place to camp on the way down, hopefully one with a really good view and out of earshot of the generator. I just can't get over the views we're seeing today. I have no idea what's at the end of this road, but we're following it in hopes it has a campsite. It might just be an old road to get up to the Watchtower or something. Yeah, this is definitely the old road up to the Watchtower. We might be able to camp on this road. I think the main reason that there's a new road is because they probably need to get a propane truck up here now to power the cell tower. All right, we're within earshot of the generator again, so I'm gonna turn it around and we're gonna drive back down this really crappy road and see if we can find somewhere that we want to camp. Honestly, just about anywhere along this route has a pretty decent view through the trees. See, I kind of want to do a generator noise check here. I don't think I can hear the generators from here. I think we're going to find somewhere to camp just here, still in view of the Watchtower. Let's walk around so we can get a better feel for the place and find a place where we want to set up. Oh man. Oh man. It's like, which view do I pick? They're all so good. I think this is the spot right here. Check this out. We can see some fields and the plains over that way. I think the yellow stuff is canola, if my farming simulator experienced anything to go on. And we can see the Columbia River down that way. Let me figure out where I actually want to set up for the night, and then I'll pull the car down here. I brought a hammock and a tent, and I'm going to set up both because I brought the tent that leaked so bad on my last trip in the Subaru. Oh. Well, there has been an issue. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. It's standing water in the bottom of my tent. Yeah, not much more to say than that. And I'm gonna set it up and hope it rains and see if it leaks. Bingo! So I'm planning to sleep in the hammock tonight because I know that that'll keep me dry and warm. And I'm not so sure about the tent. And it looks like we've got a nice collection of trees right here to set it up at. I still just don't know how to set up a nice tight tarp so it doesn't blow in the wind. Because the top is very tight and each side is very tight, but there's still slack over there. I don't know, we'll see if I sleep in there tonight. I definitely will be if it's wet in the other setup. Okay, both of the vents are closed. I've got it pulled as tight as possible and it's still sitting on the tent at this side in some spots. But when I had it before, it was leaking directly from the roof. So I honestly don't know how I could have messed that up except by leaving the vents open. But if it rains tonight, we will know if this thing is waterproof. I'm gonna put my recovery gear in there so it doesn't blow away. I think next I need to get a fire going because that's gonna be dinner tonight. Well, let's see how I did. I don't have a good track record recently. The wind should help me out at least. Well, it does look like I did manage to get something going here. Oh, the moment I've been waiting for. Time for a brew. If you've been watching the channel for a while now, you know that Bale Breaker is one of my favorite breweries. And this is their collaboration with Icicle Brewing Company, and it's called the Friends IPA, spelled F-R-E-N-Z. They describe it as, what goes together better than a T-Rex and Bigfoot? Well, probably a lot of things, including Bale Breaker and Icicle. Celebrate unexpected friendships this year with our first Friends 2025 released, a West Coast IPA from 2 Central Washington breweries, focused on unexpectedly great flavors. That is really good.
Got this void in
Yes, there are fried eggs on my underwear. What do you want? Quit looking. I'm getting all bundled up so I can enjoy Saturday Night Live here alongside the fire. It is the season 50 finale, and I'm really looking forward to it. Scarlett Johansson is hosting, and I know I have this great view, but SNL is worth watching, I think.
About that though, you like that, right? Sevens or more, sit on the floor, 6 and below, to the bleachers you go. That's live from New York, it's Saturday night.
Well, so far it's looking to be a great episode, but I've got my second beer, which is a Breakside Stay West IPA, as well as my favorite, some Flamin' Hot Lime Cheetos. I haven't been having junk food at home like Cheetos, and I am so looking forward to having these tonight. They describe this as citrusy, refreshing, and kind of magical. I don't know about magical, but I do like it a lot. It's also a little different. There's a different aftertaste. I do like it, though. All right, back to SNL as it gets dark.
Congratulations to the incredible cast and crew for these 50 years. So amazing. Lord Michaels, wherever you are, you're not going to want me to single you out.
You know, that might be the first show to ever cut Scarlett Johansson off halfway through a sentence. That was a good episode. Holy crap. I must say, it is a little spooky being up here in a cloud. These are the kind of conditions that people get killed in, like murder movie style. Alright, we're knocking on the door at midnight. It's time to put out this fire for good and get in the bed. Well, just crawling into a tent sounds cozier to me right now, and I've got all the gear, so I think I'm going to do that. I just checked the forecast for a nearby town, and it looks like it's not supposed to rain, so I really won't get wet in the tent if it really isn't waterproof. Don't worry if you're a fan of hammock camping. I'll definitely be doing that later in the future. But tonight is not that night. Let's crawl into the tent. Well, I guess we're gonna find out if this move pays off. If we get a freak rainstorm and this tent is not waterproof, then it really will not pay off. I also didn't really pitch this tent for actually sleeping in, so it's at a little bit of a weird angle, but I think we're gonna be able to make it work. In fact, it's currently 12:30 in the morning. I'm not sure much would keep me from sleeping, and I'm just now realizing how much of an angle we're on here, but I'll make it work. I guess I'll see you tomorrow for more Watchtowers. Night.
I don't want to get up. I'm going to stay in the sleeping bag. I slept fairly well. I think I woke up a couple of times from the wind. Okay. Alright, let's go. Let's do it.
And now, because I'm dumb, I gotta go tear down my other setup. Well, I'm feeling a lot warmer now, but I kind of just want to get on the road rather than making breakfast. It's already, what, 8:30? We got at least one more watchtower to hit, if not two. Had to visit the watchtower one last time before we left. This one really is impressive. I wonder what you gotta do to end up driving propane up to these watchtowers. That sounds like a fun job to me. I also wonder how they get propane up here in the winter, or are those tanks enough to last the whole winter? Because these watchtowers, they're completely snowed in the winter. If anyone knows the answer to any of these questions, please answer them down below. So I had a route planned that actually will take us in a loop so we don't have to backtrack back to the main road, but I'm not sure how well maintained these trails are, so we'll have to see what the turnoff looks like, and we might just go out the same way we came in the interest of actually making it to the next watchtower. So that was the turnoff I had marked on the map. That is not a road that we are going down. There is another connecting road that connects up with that same road over there, so we'll have to take a look at that when we get down to it. Okay, that road looks fine. I guess we won't have to back out the same way we came in, at least hopefully. Breakfast of champions right here. This road is going downhill, both literally and metaphorically. And the other part of a healthy breakfast. Through that section, I am pretty sure that we actually needed the rear locker. There was some real big dips where I don't think that both of the rear wheels would have had traction, which is where the rear locker comes into play. Either way, I think it was pretty impressive that the Subaru was just able to kind of crawl through there. And I don't really have any doubts that it would crawl right back up it. Does unbelievably well at just ironing out all the little stuff. Obviously you run into issues when you hit a big bump, but if it's just little bumps, like this car does really well. It's very impressive for just a normal, you know, daily driver type wagon. On dirt, on street tires, and the car's just doing fine. Well, those signs lied about two things. It wasn't one lane, and I wouldn't say it was all that low either. Now tell me how that stretch of road where I could go 50 is surrounded by really, really rough road on either side. That's just weird. I think I see a road closed sign up this way, which is where I was gonna go, but let's go check it out. Oh, that's the same bridge closed that was on the other side. We're back on the main road where we went up the steep gravel. Like this road's in pretty good shape too, so we got to go on this for a while. I'm pretty sure the watchtower we're trying to get to isn't that far off the highway. This is one that we tried to get to in the Volvo, but it was too snowy earlier. We've turned off onto more of of a traditional logging road. And we are getting properly close to the Watchtower now, so that's cool. This is honestly the one that I'm kind of most excited for, not because I really think that the view is going to be the best, just because it's conquered me before and I'm excited to conquer it. So if you have seen that video, right up there is where I stopped to evaluate the conditions in the Volvo, see how deep the snow was, and then we're gonna continue down that way towards the Watchtower. If you haven't seen that video, you should definitely go watch it if you've been enjoying this one. It's in the same vibe, except it's, well, snowy. It genuinely is one of my favorites. Now let's get up to this Watchtower. I believe we are well beyond where the Volvo made it, so that's a win. There has been a lot of downed trees on this road though. I'm glad someone else took care of them before I got here. This is looking to be a cool one. I mean, not that any of the others haven't been. And here we are, holy crap. Can you hear that? That's spooky. There is a serious thunderstorm over there. It's so cool that we can just see it. We can look around, see everything. Man, this has been my favorite thing that I've done in my life. This goal to see all the Watchtowers. This is a huge one, and I'm not entirely sure why there's not all that many trees here. Maybe there were more when it was built, but this thing is massive. This might be the biggest one I've been to on this trip. This might just be the biggest one I've been to, period. Oh, it is getting windy up here. And my legs are getting tired from climbing all these things. Okay, let's get this over with. It is chilly. That seems mildly concerning. Actually, maybe this is the same style as that other one, because I just stepped on that grate there and it flexed. I don't like that. Well, no way to get up to the top platform, just like usual. You know what the best part is? I've got to climb back up this thing to record my daily 15 minutes exercise. If you want to catch sneak peeks in the future, I make a YouTube short every day where I discuss behind the scenes stuff and sometimes show you where I'm at right now. All right, gotta take care of that. Welcome to today's 15 minutes exercise. I'm gonna climb up there and show you the view. Give me a second. My legs are killing me. I need to get some real food in me, I think, so we're gonna have some more of those cheese, meat, and crackers. It would seem that my meat and cheese got a little soggy from the cooler, but I'm gonna try to pretend like I didn't notice. I don't know. It has begun to hail. I'm not exactly sure if I need to do anything with this information. I think I'm just gonna hang out in the car and finish lunch. Dude, this is a proper hailstorm. I just hope the hail things don't get larger and ruin the car. We don't usually get hail that big around here. I'm gonna finish this video here and then we're gonna get on the road for home. We've got one more ferry to take and it looks like we're gonna be driving through a storm, so that could be interesting. It is still hailing. It's been hailing for like 10 minutes now. Beautiful out one window, stormy out all the rest. All right, I finished watching my video. I finished lunch. I think I'm gonna go take one more look at the Watchtower before we head out. They sure are one hell of a structure. Looking at the posts around here, it looks like there used to be a smaller one up here. I wonder what made them want to upgrade. All right, it is time to head out. Man, it got chilly out there really quick. It was chilly before, but now it is cold. As you might have noticed, I just have Google Maps set up now because, well, we're heading for home and I know the way out of here, so I don't need to have any mapping software set up. According to it, we got about 3 hours home, but that does include a different ferry. These are the two same ferries we took in that Volvo video in the snow, except we're taking them in the opposite order. I don't know if you can see that, but there was a coyote. Kind of neat. We've been coasting downhill for a while. I bet you I'll be able to make a nice cloud of blue smoke. Don't tell the diesel dickwads that I didn't even have to tune my vehicle poorly for this. This road is smooth as butter. I believe the section of road I'm driving on right now is the same section of road that you can see in this drone shot. Looks a little different in the spring, doesn't it? Man, time flies when you're having fun. We're almost back to the main road. Forgot the clutch before I locked up the brakes. Man, it is probably a good thing we're getting back to the main road. I was getting a little too confident there. But yeah, I guess it's time to get on home. The map says we still have about 2.5 hours. It is getting wet out again, so I guess we're gonna mob home. This is gonna be a really cozy drive. I can definitely tell you this thing is a lot more fun to drive on pavement than the Volvo. I think that's mostly to do with the lift that the Volvo has. I think it kind of ruined the handling dynamics, though it was always kind of a brute. This thing just feels so light and flickable, you know? Well, I wasn't filming, and it was good I wasn't, because I needed all the reaction time, but I came about this close from a couple of turkeys. Man, they got enough hail down here that it's actually piled up on the road. I don't think I've ever experienced this quantity of hail. Man, that's nuts. I've never seen anything like this. That's cool. All right, got myself some vitamin water. Let's go hit up the ferry. We're just around the corner from it. Watch me stopping for that drink have caused me to miss the ferry. We're gonna find out really shortly. Well, I don't see the ferry, but there's a few cars here, so we didn't just miss it. Here it comes. Now that is not a job I'm envious of. It's strange to me that that Ferry seems a lot more used than the other one, but it's a lot less refined. You can hear a lot more of the motors, you can feel what they're doing. The other one, I barely even knew we were moving. Just married. Google's taking me home a different route than when I came last time I took the ferry, so I guess we're gonna try out a new road. It looks pretty curvy. Alright, well, we got about an hour and a half till we get home. Man, I just drove the ever-living snot out of this car to get it up that hill at any kind of reasonable speed. I was trying to hold off a truck that went really slow around the corners but was able to go faster than me on the straightaways. And I succeeded. Now to go back down the other side. Well, as we pulled into the driveway, the rear differential reminded me that it is unhappy and made some clunking noises, so I don't think this car is going on another adventure until we pull that apart and see what's going on in there, because something's not right. Not looking forward to that. Well, if you enjoy seeing an old Subaru like this get used, fixed up, and used again, then hit the subscribe button, because it sounds like we're going to have to do something with that differential down there. If you liked going and seeing all those incredible views from the Watchtower, hit the like button. I'm going to keep doing that. And if you've got any idea what could be going on with the locker down there, then leave a comment, because that's really unfortunate. I guess that's all I got for you. I'll see you again next week. Bye.